What's up, everybody? Matthew Ellis.
Chelsea Caslow.
And that's right. We are coming at you with another episode of Heroes by the Pint. We are joined each and every week by the man right over there, right down there in this corner, right here. Our little buddy. The producer, Caleb Howe.
Little buddy.
How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Good.
I feel weird that you were pointing at the floor and saying I was there.
Well, instead of pointing at actual
But
you.
that's where...
That's where you'll appear.
Right there.
Yeah.
That's where everyone's going to see you. Right.
How weird would it be if that's where he actually sat?
If he
we just put like a box around him, like one of those like picture things that you,
Right.
you like
The Instagram picture.
Yeah, and he has to like sit in it.
Oh.
Because we can't afford things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can't afford things.
We can?
A little bit.
Yeah.
We're trying to afford to go to New York. You're sitting here
yeah,
talking
we need
about
donations for peanut butter.
eating loser lunches.
We need peanut butter and bologna money.
Yeah, gonna need some peanut butter and bologna sandwiches. All right, before we kick it over to the producer and he hits us with that rundown, shout out to this month's featured beer.
Yeah, North High Rise IPA.
That's right, we're back on it. Getting ready to
We've been
crack
on
these sweet, sweet, sweet cans open. And we would like you to grab a can of something cold.
Did you read this one? Did I miss the read for
Yeah,
this
I read this one last time.
Oh, man.
During
It's just a
Rotten
balanced American
Oh,
IPA
during
highlighted
Rotten
by an
Tomatoes.
uplifting blend of floral and citrusy hops. It's not that bad.
That's all it is. All right, we'd like to invite you to grab something cold in a bottle or can and crack it open and enjoy it with us. See, we're not that out of practice.
That was like in unison.
That was beautiful.
It's like we're a synchronized swim team.
Until you guys are done and then crack mine.
Why do you do that? Why do you have to be different?
Well, I just want to be heard.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
You know, I was just showing Caleb where I put the paper towel roll at.
Oh, yeah?
You know where I should have put it? I should have put it underneath the bar. Because who
yeah.
spills more beer than anybody?
Me, but it looks like you
I
tonight.
did. Yeah, I'm bad tonight.
We should have like mounted it right here so we could just like...
I'll be remounting it. It looks like.
Cheers to that.
Before we kick it over to the producer and we hit that show rundown, we just like to remind everybody you can support this podcast. Head over to heroesbythepint.com.
And hit us with some peanut butter money.
.com page. You guys liked when I did that last time.
Like, just go to the Google. Type in Heroes by the Pint.
Worldwide. Go to the World Wide Web.
Click on www.heroesbythepint.com.
I feel
HTTP://
You have to hit the HTTP.
You got to.
I'm pretty sure Ellis is a Bing guy.
I was talking
he's
Bing
always
before.
used Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves, that's right. All right, head over to heroesbythepint.com. Check out our shop store. You can also click over to anywhere you enjoy your social media and anywhere you stream your podcast services. You can click over to the list of all of these show sponsors, which are SourcePoint Press, Vault Comics, Tubby, the original Tubby, and
There's more.
Red Roof Inn, and all our featured beers.
And like Shoes for Cruise.
Shoes for Cruise.
And who else?
Saved my life this week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
Caleb
an
almost
impressive story.
died.
Yeah, I almost died. Shoes for Cruise saved my life. It's true.
Slipped on some olive oil, but not for long.
Not for long.
First off, the fact that Shoes for Cruise can go through olive oil and not kill you.
It's impressive.
It's quite impressive.
If you want to find out how the producer saved his life on his Shoes for Cruise, check out our story this week. We're going to feature it.
Yeah, we are.
Oh,
We're
man.
going to actually reenact it.
Yeah, we're going to do like one of those TV reenacting.
Alice is like spraying olive oil on the floor and then shoving Caleb.
Do you remember?
That's happening after this.
This might say how young I am, but like, do you remember like when Vine was huge and they did the olive oil challenge and they put olive oil on the floor and then kids would like run through the kitchen and hit it and like slam into fridges and shit?
I think that was also called the
No.
concussion challenge.
I don't remember. I like missed Vine completely.
I will also put that up on our
like I
Facebook
know what a
page.
Vine
Yeah,
is,
it's
but I
funny.
completely missed the Vine train.
Yeah,
Just short YouTube.
No, I get it.
yeah. Just
Everyone always tries to explain it to me when I say that. It's like, no, I know what it is. I just wasn't on it.
right. It was.
Not in time.
They're coming out with another one.
They're revining.
I think it's called Vine 2.
Right. I would call it revining.
Yeah, it's like when Justin Timberlake bought MySpace.
Right.
And then nothing happened.
But that I don't want. We're going
But
down
do
a
you think
rabbit
it's
hole.
still gonna come back?
No, at one point I got like when I was playing music,
He was like, yes.
I got
Like, it's coming back.
I got so irritated with Facebook that I was reaching out to all my buddies who were also in bands, and I was like, dude, let's work on getting MySpace back.
Yeah, you
Cancel your Facebook and set up a MySpace. MySpace was a great place for music.
Yes.
Before you would go and see a band, the first place you would go is to their MySpace page and listen to their songs.
Dude, do you know what Caleb's mom just did to me?
Let's hear it.
She Marco Polo'd me. Do you know what that is?
No.
Well, I didn't either.
All
You
right.
would love it.
That's good.
Basically, you can take as long of a video as you want and be like, hey, dude, I just want to talk to you about what we're going to do for the podcast, blah, 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 blah. Like all the things that you want to say, but I'm like, I'm in meetings. And then I can hit you back with like a video message. It's like Marco Polo. Get it?
It's like FaceTime, but with pauses in between.
Huh.
But Caleb and his sister were like, don't get it. It's super lame. And then his
No,
mom.
I didn't say that. I said don't
You're
get it.
saying that because you know your mom listens.
No, I said no. No, I 100% said don't get it because my mom is on it.
Okay. Okay. So she sends me this cute little. She's like, "Hey, it's me. Obviously, this is how I like communicate with people.
Right.
Marco Polo me. It's fun." And I watched it, and like within the 30 seconds that I watched it, like I'm watching it, she sends me a live one, and she's like, "Oh my God, hey, what's up? Like I see that you opened that shit. Like, yes." And I was like, "Oh damn, she is on it." Like,
Yeah.
so yeah.
There's too much.
But I felt like you would like it.
There's too much.
I think that was because you're old, Ellis. I think that's what.
That's
I'm
not
old.
what I'm saying. It just seems
she was
like
walking
an effective way
around
to
it.
communicate
I'm
longer
old.
things to people.
I don't like FaceTiming that much.
It's not like that, Ellis.
I don't like FaceTiming Ellis either because normally there's like shine off his head. And
It's
like,
well, it's like you got to get that angle right. You know, sometimes.
Have you ever? My dad, I FaceTimed him recently, and he was like up here,
Right.
and
get that skinny
and I was
angle.
like, "Hey, Dad, like, what's going on?" He's like, "Nothing." Like, just
Skinny angle.
hanging out with your mom, and he was like posing, and I screenshotted it.
I like it. I like it. All right. Heroesbythepint.com.
We
Not-
need money
that's
for
where
peanut butter.
that's where we left off. I guess.
And we're setting up a MySpace
And a
apparently.
Marco Polo.
And a Marco Polo. Caleb, what are we talking?
I don't know. I didn't watch it, but I think
Jesus.
it's scary.
It was scary.
It wasn't scary. It was hilarious.
It was awesome.
It was called Brightburn, right?
Correct.
Brightburn.
Give us a quick synopsis. You know what it's about.
Superman's bad,
Yeah. Evil Superman.
Evil Superman.
but he's a kid also.
Yeah.
Child Superman.
So
He was a dick.
I would have beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I don't care if you can bend steel and shit. I would have beat your ass.
Right.
except he would have just been like,
Nuh-uh.
Right. He I'll say it doesn't end how you expect it to end. I think we should jump
No.
into we're a little behind because holiday weekend, Memorial
Holiday
Day.
weekend. Yep.
Let's do some quick news rundown, some stuff we
Yeah.
missed.
Let's do it.
So we had the petition for Danny DeVito as
Yes.
Wolverine. I would like to
Which we started.
Yeah, I would like to jump in on that. We have Robert Pattinson announced as
Batman.
essentially, yes, he's going to be Batman, the way it's sounding. And then you have Tom King being, I don't know if it was asked to leave early or getting kicked off of his Batman run that was supposed to be a 100-issue arc, and he's now leaving at 85. He's
That's
still
what I
in,
was going to say. I think he's only in the 80s.
yeah, he's still involved with DC. I think he's joining in with a female creator, and they're doing the New Gods.
Yep.
And then he's also doing now Batman and Catwoman, like a combined story arc. So
first off, a
Batcat.
100 comic arc is just
So
massive.
can you
That's
imagine though?
huge.
But this is like my dude who ran a 100-mile race, made it to like mile 93, and they were like, "Whoops, sorry, you're over the time limit." Like you just wrote 80 some books.
right, I think right now he's coming in at, I mean, he still has like a year to go on Batman because I think he's at like 72 or 73.
Yeah.
So he still has like 13 issues to get out.
But then to just be like, okay, so do those, but also you're not gonna complete it. It just sucks.
I mean, there was like, for me, I know a lot of people loved his art. Kelly from our local comic shop, Secret Identity, he like loved the Tom King arc and the the wedding, which didn't happen. To me, I just thought it was like a whole debacle.
Yeah.
Like they led up to this like
Wedding that didn't happen.
Bruce Wayne and Selena or Catwoman and Batman wedding, and
Well, I liked the lead up, but then, like you said,
Yeah.
it's like nothing happened.
and he had some good little one-off stories in there when Nightwing gets shot in the head by the KG Beast. Like there were some good little parts of the arc, but
Killing the Joker.
Yeah.
yeah,
That was intense.
I'm not the biggest Tom King fan. Some people love him, but yeah, I thought it was kind of a shock because like
It
Tom
is.
King I thought was like a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Can you look up to see if like the Batman numbers have gone down during like Tom King's era?
Or like why it's. Do you have any idea why?
Right.
It's like you said, did he just decide like, nah, not feeling it, or did he get asked to stop?
And then in a little bit of Batman news too, Robert Pattinson. What are you guys thinking?
I'm excited to see him gain like a quick 85 pounds.
That's the one thing I was thinking. Like, dude, they need to get this dude on some human growth.
Because he's average size.
Well, and that's the reason why Ben Affleck is like the best
'Cause
Batman
he's huge,
ever.
and he has a good chin.
He's got the best chin ever, and like Ben Affleck is the size of like Batman from the comics. He's like
Right.
6'4", he's like 240.
Batman's massive.
Right.
Like, yeah, this guy, the skinny little glittery vampire, he's gonna have to.
And
he's gonna
then-
have to hulk up.
And then you see like the petitions too. We were talking off air how like terrible social media is, and it's just like the worst. And
Which
the-
is why we're getting back on MySpace.
and the best at times. Like I have some fun on social media, but they're like all these fan petitions. Like now there's these fan petitions to make sure like Kristen Stewart's like Catwoman
Ugh.
and like
Gag.
Dude,
It's like Game of Thrones, where they're like, we didn't really like the way it ended, so we're gonna petition for you to just do it over.
Well,
Like,
I'll
that's
say
not
this.
Gonna happen.
she could rock a cow. She's got the chin to be Batman. She's got one hell of a chin,
She
dude.
does have a strong jawline.
She also has no emotions. So she'd be a
Resting bitch
great
face.
Bruce
Yeah.
Yeah.
She would be a good Bruce Wayne.
She doesn't like when she acts. She's very monotone.
I
Yeah.
kind of like love her for that. As weird as that is, like every role that I've ever seen her in, I'm like, I just love how like it seems like you didn't really practice.
She's the only actor.
like she just is like whatever
that is-
forever. She gets
that is
no
known
fucks.
for not acting.
Right.
Right.
Was
It's like
she?
we just shot your cat, and she's like, okay.
I mean, she was in
Like-
one of my favorite films, which was American Ultra.
I haven't seen
And
that.
she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you've never seen American
No,
Ultra?"
but I feel like I must.
I have, yeah.
It's rad,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It has the curly haired guy too. in
Yeah,
it.
Jesse
Yeah,
Eisenberg.
yeah, Lex Luthor.
Yeah, dude,
Lex Luthor.
it's like
Yeah.
it's so twisted. You got any of the Tom King stuff? for
Oh
us?
yeah. It says that basically this Dark Knight run is coming to an expected end because of a recent dip in sales.
Expected end.
Unexpected.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sooner than expected. Sorry.
Unexpected.
Reading's hard.
Reading
It's okay.
is hard.
It's okay. That's why we're here.
It normally ranges around 130,000 to 110,000 issues commonly for Batman titles, and they're nowhere near that.
Wow. Whoa, dude. I've never heard numbers like that. I've never
Yeah.
really heard like what comics sell. So each
That's
issue
crazy.
of Batman sells like roughly 100 and
10,000.
God damn, that's a lot
It's a
of
lot of. That's unexpected.
Yeah, that's a lot of comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of shocking news about Tom King, and then
RIP.
yeah. I don't know. I really don't know if Pattinson can get big enough,
He can.
but he does have the jaw for it.
He just has a jaw for it. But do you think that's because he's like so thin?
How you think he's gonna get like
He's
fat
like this.
face?
He does have like sunken cheeks. Like
Yeah, like if he gains 85 pounds of mass
dude's a
muscle,
vampire,
the dude's
man.
like gonna be chunkier looking.
I love that man's been in like 9 other movies.
But he's still a vampire. He's still
Yeah, like
just,
he'll never
he'll-
be
he'll
anything. What
always-
other movies has he been in? Look it
Oh
up.
man,
Yeah.
Because like, can you think of one off the top of your head?
He's
it's
been
like
in-
Harry Potter. It's like Daniel Radcliffe, right?
Right.
That's Harry Potter.
Right. Well, he's
Sorry.
been in some indies, like some
Yeah.
pretty brutal indies.
He's been taking like a very dark turn in his career.
Yeah.
Well,
These indies.
the darkest.
I mean, he's got to stay out of the light.
Yeah. You got it. You thought I was talking about Batman, but I was talking about vampires.
Did you know he was in Harry Potter?
What? Yeah,
he
he was.
was?
Sorry, don't tell me. He was. He's got
You don't
he's
know.
got a weird ass fucking name.
Cedric?
No. Cedric Diggory. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, he was in
All I needed was this.
all right, Water for Elephants, Bet I Me, The Rover,
If he's trying
Maps
to get
to the Stars,
Was the rover like a space movie?
Life,
if he's trying to get
The Lost
people,
City of Z.
oh
Good
yeah,
movie.
yeah. I've actually never seen that. I wanted to.
Yeah,
Good Time.
It's probably because he was in it.
Right. If he's trying to get people to forget that he was in Twilight, it's
It's
like that's not the
not
movie
working.
role like you take.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like Brad Pitt didn't want everybody to remember.
Meet Joe Black.
Yeah. Or River Runs Through It.
So he's like, I'm gonna do Fight Club.
So he continued to grow his
Punch myself
career.
in the face.
Right. This guy hasn't landed a Fight Club yet.
No.
Yeah, but maybe Batman's his thing.
It could be.
All
I mean,
right.
a lot of these are like short films, and also he wrote a lot of it.
Well, again, it's not helping his case. Moving on to something I know we're all super excited about, and honestly, the responses that we were getting on social media was so funny because people were actually like, "No way!" No, like Danny DeVito playing Wolverine, dude.
I feel like that's the fit.
I mean, he's got the height.
They're about the same height.
You're right.
It's funny, but it's true. What Wolverine's like 5'5" in the comics or
Yeah,
something like
he's a
that.
little guy.
Danny DeVito's got to be shorter than
How
that.
tall is Danny DeVito, Caleb?
We're putting him to work tonight.
know.
We're just like,
He
look
was
this
like,
up. Look
he's
this
like,
up.
I'm not even gonna come because I didn't see it. And I said, what do I have to add? And I was
Well,
like, you're coming.
This is what we got to get back to. We got to get back to
know.
like the news of the week. Like just,
I'm with you, dude.
He's 4'10".
oh my gosh.
short.
I think Addie's probably
Short.
4'10".
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Addie-
accurate. Bennett is for sure, right?
I would think.
I don't know.
I don't know.
4 feet.
Wolverine is 5'3" in the comics.
Well, it's close. 4 inches.
That
No,
picture
5
of him
inches. the picture of him
in
with,
the mirror, the bathroom mirror.
with the wild hair.
Yeah. Tank top, the fur.
Where did this come from? Whose brainchild was
Sean Nick
this?
Cage. He's like, you know what, dude?
I'm
You'd
pretty
be a
sure
perfect
it's from
Wolverine."
the show. The show he's in is famous. It's
Okay,
not-
Always
Always
Sunny.
Sunny.
I love
think it's
that
from
show.
Oh yeah.
Like he like dressed up for Halloween as the Wolverine or something.
Oh my god.
Perfect.
He's
It looks like an Always Sunny picture.
yeah, he's
Pretty
Danny
sure that's the
DeVito.
bathroom bar or something.
See, I
Bar.
said like Danny DeVito is the perfect comedic genius because he does not have to do anything
No,
to be hilarious.
right.
Like you just look at him
He's funny.
and you're like, "Oh my god,
His
this."
facial expressions kill me. What?
Like
He's
I'm
like this little dude. You're like,
I'm old school, man. I remember Danny DeVito being in like Romancing the Stone and like, dude, I love those flicks because those were like my grandma's like jam, you
Yeah.
know, some Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner. I mean, that was some good times. Is it Michael or
Golden days.
it's Michael, right? Kurt's
Yeah.
the old man.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
all right.
Those were
I'm on top of it.
alright,
Don't
alright.
worry.
those are some classic flicks. Jean Wilder. Actually, one of our passwords for one of our major banking accounts is Joan Wilder. Because
To
who
know.
is ever going to
It's the
guess
company card.
who is ever going to guess Joan Wilder?
Well, now
As-
everybody.
It's a good code. It's a
It
good
is
password.
It's a great password.
So yeah, Danny DeVito's the man.
He's the Wolverine.
He was the best penguin ever,
Oh yeah.
and so creepy.
It's terrifying, dude.
Yeah.
When he eats that fish, like,
Dude, when he bites that dude's nose off.
well, that was pretty gross too.
It's like, it could be worse. I could have blood gushing out of my nose. And then he gets elected mayor. Like after he does that.
Well, I mean, are you gonna tell him no?
Well, I feel like that's like a huge statement on our current state of affairs in politics. Like,
Totally.
this guy just bit some dude's, like, mauled some dude's face, and we still voted
And
for
we're like,
him.
he seems like a nice guy.
I mean,
He's not a bad guy.
right.
Everybody has their moments.
I love him. He does what he wants.
He's honest.
Right, he's honest.
He's transparent, and he tells it how it is.
All right, so jumping into Brightburn.
Yeah.
Bottle cap rating. Caleb didn't go and see it because it was
Okay.
It was
was
classified as a horror movie. I don't
it
fuck
was
with
a
those.
little creepy.
Like, no. It was jumpy. Like, it had, like, loud sounds that would, like, make you kind of jump. Like, I jumped a couple times, but I would never felt, like, concerned or scared.
Well, there was like, well, that's because I was there.
Well, I did feel secure.
Right. So you're like, okay, I know I'm safe.
You were, like, the four other people.
The best part,
Was the audience?
and that's what I was getting ready
Yeah.
to say, is like, so we saw it at 10 o'clock last night,
Yeah.
and there was,
6 people, including us.
right. And then
Like,
I
three. It was, like, a couple, me and Ellis.
and then I think
Sold out.
And then I think some stragglers came in, or
Yeah.
maybe some kids.
It was, like, some kids that definitely didn't pay.
Like, I think maybe like their movie let out, so they went to the movie that their parents were seeing or something. But the audience reaction to the gruesome parts in unison was just like, because there were
You started it. No, you started it.
me.
Yeah, because we can get into this. Like,
It was the hand.
no, that
it was
that
that-
happened,
it-
but that's not when it started.
When did it start?
That when the hand happened, you were like, "Oh God," but no one else really like felt it. It started.
No, the hand, because he broke it, and then he snapped her whole like
it was just
forearm, and we were all just like, oh.
All right, so that happened, but I didn't feel like everyone understood that we were like in this together and could,
Right.
like actively express ourselves until after the jack off scene,
The jack off scene.
where the dad's like they find the
Oh.
porn and the like pictures of intestines under the kid's
Oh
bed.
yeah.
And then the dad takes him out into the woods and he's like, "Son, soon you're gonna," because remember they're like,
Wanna-
"Should we
yeah.
have the talk?"
yeah.
And then he's like, "Son, soon you're gonna have these urges, and I just want you to know that it's okay to act upon them." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, to like
Touch it.
yourself or whatever.
To touch it.
And he's like, "Touch what?" And he's like, "Your penis." And he's like, "Right now?" And he was like, "God, no, like, on your own time." And somebody in the crowd, you were like, "Holy shit!" And then somebody else in the crowd was like loses it, and they were just like, "Dude, I can't take it. Like, this is too much." And they were dying. And at that point, like everybody just started.
And then it was just like a
Going
free for all. It was like
Yeah.
so much fun. Bottle cap. We didn't even get to that.
Oh yeah. So if I'm rating it like as a horror movie, which is the
Here it
Here
comes.
it comes, little studio cat. Meow.
I think I'm going.
If
I think I'm
rating
just
it-
going with a 4 flat. Like
If I'm rating it as a horror film, I'm that big fat fuck. Hey Frankie, I'm gonna rate it as a horror film like a 2.5, but
Yeah.
as like an entertaining film and a great night, like a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like
it was so fun.
It was. It was. Yeah, it was great. I
Is this
loved
your
it.
cat that doesn't like being picked up?
No, Frankie, you can pick up sometimes.
Sometimes.
Hey Frankie, what's up?
And he's like, oh, love me. No one around here
It's
loves
like
me.
everybody here's been sick,
Yeah.
just puking everywhere.
So classic. It's a classic Superman story. Caleb, can you look up? So it was produced
He's
by.
just walking in a circle meowing. He's not even doing anything.
That's what he does, dude.
You gotta get a picture of him for her Instagram.
It's produced by James Gunn,
Okay.
and I believe written by his brothers. And then James Gunn didn't direct it.
He wrote part of it.
He
though.
produced it.
I thought he
and
wrote
then-
it too.
Director is David Yarovesky.
Cool.
Yeah.
Screenplay Brian Gunn and Mark Gunn.
Brothers.
Producer James Gunn and Kenneth Hong.
Yeah.
Hyung?
And yeah, that's
I leaned
Sorry.
over to Chelsea at one point and I was like, Elizabeth Banks is gorgeous.
She's so pretty.
And an incredible actress. And I was like, she's really giving like a Hunger Games performance on like a B-level movie budget.
What movie did you say? God, you were like, she's giving like a Hunger Games performance on a, I don't know, it might have been.
Insert Nick Cage movie here.
I mean, it really did have like good actors in it.
Yeah.
Like David Denman from The Office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Banks. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, like, she's the name.
She's the name.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
for sure.
I mean, that dude, like, he is a great actor, and I knew him from somewhere, but it's not like he's, like, packing out box offices,
No,
you
no.
know?
No, and then the brother, I think, is from the New Girl.
Yeah, he's
Guy
from
that
New Girl.
gets his jaw.
Oh, so
Everyone freaked out.
it starts off a little slow, but all I got to say is if a baby comes crashing down from
outer
the
space.
heavens, just kill it.
Yeah, dude,
Like-
for real. Like, just put it out of its misery
Like,
because it's an evil alien, baby.
Bruce Wayne was right. If there's one iota of doubt that you can't trust Superman or a superhuman
Yes.
like that, you got to put him down.
Gotta put him down, dude.
Right, because you don't know. And I mean,
It's just not safe.
they tried at one point. His pops says we're going to jump around the movie. At one point, his pops
Almost
takes
made
him
a
out
terrible
into the
joke,
woods
but I'm really glad I didn't.
and just tries to shoot him in the back of the head.
He literally tried, but he's bulletproof.
Yeah, and the boy just
So
turns
he was just
around.
Fuck. He tried to kill him. So did his mom.
Yeah, and it happened. I'd say the movie kind of picked up pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it starts out like, okay, there's a couple, there's all these fertility books lying around their place. They're all on top of each other, but they're not having babies. An alien crashes into their yard. It turns out it's a baby child. They take it in, they raise it as their own.
You
He
would do.
seems like a good guy.
It goes to prove my point.
Yeah, I mean, the kid was pretty normal.
You can't love an adopted kid as much as a real kid.
You would know.
That's
I know. That's
I
what I'm
know.
saying.
Yeah, you just
I cannot even argue with you.
and you can't trust them.
Never. Never.
Don't trust an adopted child.
Never.
And don't foster kids.
Oh,
Or
man.
anything. For that matter.
Jeez. That was so gloomy.
Hey, the real feelings are coming out.
Yeah,
I think
we're
you
just
learned
spitting hard
the
truths.
wrong lessons from this movie.
I was just questioning everything that he is. Yeah, so then the kid, who seems like a nice guy, goes out to the barn sleepwalking one night because they randomly kept the spaceship he was housed in.
At least blow the spaceship
At
up.
least get rid of the spaceship.
Right.
Obviously, it's going to start talking to him in creepy satanic voices and luring him back eventually. So just get rid of that shit.
That's what you would do.
Don't put a chain with a tiny padlock on it on the doors that protect it because that alien baby is going to be pretty strong.
So as the alien ship is communicating with him and saying "take the world,"
It's like,
take the world. As he like
Like that, like it's
translates the
terrifying.
language and he realizes it's saying "take the world."
yeah, it started out like Abi Kadabi, Balada
Right.
Gabudu.
Nailed it.
What about the scene, the broken hand was gruesome.
Well, and that was like the girl he had a crush on.
Yeah.
Who defended him in class.
Right, but in between that defense
He did sneak into her bedroom,
and
hide behind her curtains, turn on creepy like Roy
and was
Orbison.
probably and that was shortly after the touch your penis talk.
It was directly after that.
so
His
it
dad
was
was
like-
like, act upon these urges. He's like, right now? And he's like, no, later. And then next thing you know, he's in a girl's room, hiding behind her curtains, playing Roy Orbison.
masturbating.
Probably. At super speed, though.
Right.
And and then the next day, she's expected to help him out at gym class. And she says no. And the teacher's like, do it or you get an F. So she reaches down to pick up his hand, and he grabs her hand, stares at her eyes, crushes her hand, and breaks her arm.
Yeah. I mean,
Normal
but
behavior.
that's how you know, like,
Next steps, obviously.
he just has a crush on her.
Right.
Like, you know,
it's like
I mean,
when a kid flicks you.
right.
Or punches you or pinches you. They have a crush on you. Or if you're like AJ Sunderland back from high school, you catch a girl's hair on fire.
Right.
all that
In the
shatter
middle
her
of
arm.
class.
Next-
All of that's just normal behavior if someone has a crush on
I
you.
got a hair catching on fire story. I'll tell you for the after party.
Yeah.
Little Patreon
Did
story. It's a pretty
was
good
it
one.
like because someone had a crush on someone?
No,
Is that why you don't have any hair?
It was in a public event, and I couldn't really do anything about it.
Except watch.
Yeah, and then someone I got scolded by somebody else. But anyway, I'll go into that.
Oh,
I'll go into that. The after party episode.
Oh yeah.
No, we'll do a quick after party episode. So right after this, broken hand. Then he takes her flowers, and he's like, "Hey, I'm really sorry about this."
Here's some flowers.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm essentially superior to humans, but I have feelings for you." She's like, "My mom said I can't be around you
Or
he's
talk
like,
to you."
He's like, "Well, I'll take care of that." And he goes to the diner, which this sweet lady who was also kind of bitchy, but
She was super bitchy, and her name was like Carol or Erica.
Erica. And sorry, Pete. Oh, you hitting me with one of them crispy boys?
No, I'm not.
We're calling them CBs.
So at this point, he goes to the diner, which this lady was sweet enough to hit him with an ice cream sundae. Banana split.
Not even a Sunday, a banana split.
Right. And he's like,
He
I
throws
don't
a
want
fit
this.
because he's not allowed to have a gun for his birthday.
This is for kids. Yeah, because
Little shit. I love banana splits.
he should have gotten a gun because clearly he was stable enough.
Yeah.
To
He's
own,
like, I'm
a
11
rifle."
years old.
So
What a brat.
the most gruesome scene of this, and this is what Caleb had texted you. He's
This
like,
is actually no, it was still the jack off part, but this is when the audience had like let loose at the
Lost
jack
it.
off part, and they were like, "This you cannot hold it in."
so a halogen light, like they're flickering on and off,
Explodes.
fluorescence, and yeah, they explode into the waitress Erica's face,
And into her left eyeball.
and to the point where she pulls out probably like an inch of glass. Right? I mean, it was so, and they show
And
the
it's so
whole
slow,
thing.
'cause
Yeah.
she's like as slow as possible, and the whole time she's like, ah, and she's pulling it out, and it's making a creepy slurpy eyeball sound.
I mean,
And the 6 people in the audience were like, "Dear God!"
our skin was crawling, right? Mine was. I was.
And
I was
blood
just like,
is pouring down her face. Yeah, everybody was freaking out.
that part was gruesome, and yes, I mean, blood is just dripping down her eye. And the funny
And then she
part
runs
is,
into the freezer because there's no stairs. And in horror movies, you go up the stairs because then you can't escape. So in this situation, it's the closest thing. She goes
Freezer.
straight into the freezer where
Locks
there's
it.
nowhere to go. And he laser beam eyes through the door.
well, the best part is, as you said, like she's running around with this blurred, bloody-eyed vision, and blood's just like running down her face.
Yeah.
And you're like, will you just cover that eye
I was
up?
like, close your damn eye. You cannot see anything. Like,
And she can't see,
close
and then
your eye and get out.
and eventually she finally covers that eye up, and she can focus, and she realizes
the lights start flickering, and there's all these creepy like drawings of like bees on the window, like hundreds and hundreds of bees that somebody's like letter B's that someone's drawn on the windows, and she's like, "Gary, are you messing with me?" Like, obviously not, Erica. Unless Gary has a shit ton of time and is super fast and creepy.
He's really been playing in this
like,
for a
what
while.
who is this Gary, and like what kind of trickery has he been up to lately to make you think that that's him?
So as the movie progresses, the father quickly starts feeling like their son is evil and indestructible. And in between this, he's drawn to the ship, and he falls onto the ship and cuts his hand open.
Right.
So
and
there's like
there's
that.
a point where the dad has said prior to this, he's not a normal boy.
Right.
You have to know that. He's talking to the mom. You have to know that he's never bled blood. He has never bruised. Like, he's not human. He may look like us and sound like us, but he is not one of us.
Right. And the mother's just like, no, that's my baby
Like,
boy.
that's my baby.
And you have that kryptonite moment with the ship. So you see like there's this weakness to space metal or whatever, like something from his home planet, much like Superman. And then he's in counseling with his aunt.
Which is all kinds of wrong.
Right. And she's like, but she's the only counselor.
She's the school counselor, and so it's like the only person he can talk to. But it's like a huge conflict of interest.
But it's like hella country bumpkin, right?
Yeah, it's
and at one point the mom comes home. She's like, I got sesame chicken. And I leaned over and I was like,
you know they don't have Chinese in this town.
right.
I was like, you're totally right, dude. They do not have a place for good takeout.
No way.
No way, dude.
Also,
it would have been way more believable. She was like, I just got some pizza from the Pizza Hut.
Right.
Like, you do not get sesame chicken.
They also live on this beautiful ranch, beautiful farm. And they're like, let's go camping. I'm like, why would
What?
you?
Like, you have 25 acres of just nothing.
Right. Why are you like, you know what we need to do? Let's get away this
Weekend.
weekend.
Let's go out into the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because we're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that made no sense. Yeah.
You know what they really needed to do?
What?
If they needed a relaxing night,
They need to go to the Red Roof Inn.
they needed to hit the Red Roof End up. Be a budget hero. Be like, let's take this boy.
That city living
That's right. Let's get into the city.
in the
go
heart
shopping,
of Metropolis.
Metropolis.
Hit that Red Roof Inn. Be a budget hero, just like the Heroes by the Pint. Make sure you're always hitting up the Red Roof anywhere on your con excursions.
Don't
anywhere.
be an evil Superman. Stay
Don't
at
be
the
an
Red Roof
hey,
Inn.
If you go out
Get
to
out
a
of that
movie and you drink too much, there's probably a Red Roof Inn close enough.
Absolutely.
And you don't want to risk driving home drunk because we saw what happened.
So what happened to the uncle
Ooh.
who was a little intoxicated, got offered a ride home. He's like, no, I'm good, bro. He was drunk and ran into evil Superman.
Well, this was like this was the best part of the entire movie.
It was. I don't know if it was or the eye part, but
well, this was the most
close.
gruesome. But the best part that I'm going with is, so this little prick is
He was
going.
on his little Superman fuck.
This little Superman fuck is going to essentially kill his aunt because she's going to speak to the police and be like, hey, he's not showing any remorse. Essentially, he's like a sociopath.
And he came to the door and was like, whatever you do, you can't tell the sheriff.
Right. So
And then he did it in a way where she was like, okay, go home.
But
like, you're 11.
He makes it in the house while she's sleeping.
He's got his blankie on.
His uncle comes home. Yes, his suit is a blankie. His uncle comes home. And he's like, he walks into the closet. This is the best part. He walks into the closet and flips the light on. And he rips the mask off the dude. And he's like, Brandon, what the fuck are you doing in here? He's like smacking him around. He's dragging him out.
He's like, get this fucking blankie off your head and get out of my closet.
So he drags him and he's like, okay, I'm going to take the kid home. He's all pissed off. And then...
And it wasn't weird to him. That's the thing, is he was like, holy shit, Brandon. Like, that might be something you'd say if, like, Addie was in your closet.
Right.
But if your, like, nephew was in your closet
Right.
and you didn't have
randomly
kids, at, like,
Right.
midnight, you're a little drunk. In no way would you be like, Jimmy, get in the car. Come on, you little shit.
So at this point, the Superman fuck starts flying around, terrorizing this dude.
Oh, yeah, like, absolute chaos.
Just, like, wrecking his, like, Bronco. And go see
Well, and he lifts him up into the air.
the back end of the Bronco.
Like a bad roller coaster ride where he's like, you're hanging there just
probably
waiting to
30
drop,
feet.
at least.
Yeah, 50 to 30 feet in the air.
The dude's drunk, so he's like, what's happening? And then he drops him. And his car crashes into the ground.
And his jaw just snaps
on the steering wheel.
on the steering wheel, rips his jaw like almost completely off.
But not quite off.
Because he picks it up and holds it in place.
Naturally.
And I feel like he was probably just trying to say, you Superman fuck. Brandon, you little Superman fuck. And you said in the moment that like, so that part was gruesome.
So everybody was like, holy shit, when they're freaking out in the movie theater. But the nasty part
is when he drops the jaw.
because Brandon's like talking to him.
Yeah. And he picks his jaw up and he's holding it in place. And then as he's getting ready to die, he lets go of his jaw,
And it's just like,
and it just like slides like halfway down his
it did kind of
chest.
slide.
It was so gross.
And everyone in the theater was just like, oh.
But that's why, like, it was such. At this point, me and you were like, I feel like this movie really could tie in with like Nick Cage's Mandy.
Oh, it felt
like,
very much like Mandy. Even the
it's the same
scenes,
universe.
It is. We said that. We were
Right.
like, this is the Mandyverse.
Right. Like if Mandy, Nick Cage's Mandy, if he had made an axe out of that spaceship, then he's going to take down.
He probably did.
Right. That's what I'm
It's all
waiting
gonna
for.
tie in.
It's,
How did it end? Tell me how it ended.
Oh, he killed everyone.
yeah, not like you think. So essentially, his
His
father
mom tries to kill him.
his father tries to shoot him in the head, and he's trying to like essentially save the world, and he doesn't realize like how indestructible he is. So he tries to shoot him in the back of the head, and
And it's like, ting.
then this is so gruesome. Also, he laser eyes his dad's face like point blank range. I
Yeah.
mean, just like holding him here,
Like
and just like
anger.
explodes
Just
his
anger.
head.
And the dude was pretty nice. Like, remember when he made waffles for breakfast?
Yeah. It was letting him go to school late.
Yeah.
So
He was a good dad.
right around that moment, the mother finds the police officer shows up and says, "Hey, do you recognize this symbol
Yeah.
from the restaurant and from the uncle's death?" And she's like, "No, no." Goes and she does. She finds his notebook and he has illustrated everybody he's murdered so far.
They're dead. Like
right,
the jaw
right,
and everything.
the jaw, the eye, like all of it. So
it's like, and like kid drawing.
yeah,
Like super evil kid drawing.
so she realizes like, oh, this dude's evil.
Yeah.
My husband was right. We got to kill him.
And then she tries to call her husband and she's like, you're right, you're right. And he answers the phone.
Right.
She's like, let me talk to your dad. He's like, he's gone.
Gone where? And he's like,
You know where he's gone, Mom. Oh, but the creepiest part was they did this like Marco Polo whistling in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
So like the kid's hiding from the mom in the beginning when he's still a good kid. And she's like, and he's like, and
right.
And so they do that.
If they
to try
just
to
had
find
the
each
Marco
other.
Polo app.
It would have been fine.
Right.
But at the end, the kid comes back after he's killed his dad, and the mom's like freaking out. And then she hears him go like, and she's like, holy fuck. Like,
And it takes her
freaking out.
It takes her a while. She like cuts her own hand open and she's like, "Oh, I got him."
Yeah.
And at this point, honestly, I was thinking like, okay, she's going to like stab him in the head.
Yeah.
With this. So she goes to the spaceship and somehow miraculously rips
Creates a
off a
shiv.
hunk of metal. Just with her fingers, rips off a hunk of metal
It's
that's a
it's
shiv.
like mom rage. It's
Right.
a perfect shiv.
So
She's
at,
obviously been to the slammer.
at this point, I'm like, okay, she's going to like,
Buffy this.
yeah,
this dude.
gouge his brains out, and it's going to be gory and an awesome ending. And no.
No. And she raises her arm up. She's hugging him. She's like, I always loved you. You'll always be my boy. I always believe in you. I never think you do anything wrong. And she raises her arm up to stab him, and he grabs her arm. And
flies her
way into the universe.
to a point where apparently like so high up in the atmosphere that blood just starts oozing out of all of your
Yeah, and Captain Marvel's like, hey, guys.
right. Just because he picks her up
I'd help, but it's the wrong universe.
at that moment and starts flying her into the atmosphere,
Mm-hmm.
and she looks pretty normal.
Pretty
I
yeah.
mean, like not happy. She's been crying.
clearly.
But
It's in mourning.
she gets up into the atmosphere and her face is just covered with blood.
Yeah.
Boom, he drops her from 50,000 feet, sees an airplane approaching,
Yeah.
redirects the airplane to crash on the farm. Chips Ahoy.
He's sitting in the back of an ambulance just snacking on some Chips Ahoy because he's the only
Insane.
survivor of the catastrophic plane crash that murdered his whole family.
And what's great is Yondu is in it, and he's kind of like an Alex Jones character where they're building up this universe because he's like, there's Fishman. And they're like, so all these like DC type characters
Yeah.
that he's like referencing that are all evil.
Yeah.
That they're all trying to take down like our world, and
It's honestly
it
one
was
of the
good.
best DC movies.
Go see Brightburn. It was really good. It was really enjoyable. Preferably go see it with like a really small theater. Everybody who wants to be really vocal.
Only 6 people, super
Right.
late at night.
Make sure
Couple
everyone's had a couple of
stragglers.
beers.
Yes,
Make sure you've had a couple of beers.
definitely.
Absolutely.
We did slug beers before we went.
And then had some
We had some more beers at the movie theater.
company beers.
Yeah, you had to.
They were company
It was
beers.
that or frozen Jack and Coke.
I mean, I'm giving it a 4, man.
I'm sticking
Wow.
with a 4 too.
I loved it. It was good.
It was great.
I leaned over and I told Chelsea, I was like, I would buy this when it hits like the $8.99. Like,
No. You said I would buy this for sure when it hits $4.99. I would consider buying it when it hits $8.99, and if I was drunk, I'd buy it for $16.99.
Right.
I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, you just hit the nail right on. the
You know
head.
what? You know what? I'm really excited about.
The fact that you bought Mandy.
No, it just lets me know you're listening to me.
Oh yeah, I was
Right,
listening.
you're like, because you're like verbatim. That's probably what I
That's
said.
exactly what you said. Do you remember the one time I quoted you and you were like, I was like, you were drunk. And you were like, I said that? And I was like, yeah. And you're like, I'm pretty smart when I'm drunk.
Well, hey.
That's pretty good advice.
Want to listen to my drunk self more often. Yeah, it was a 4. It's so good.
Just a lot of fun.
Yeah, go see it. I would actually love to read a comic made up that way. I don't know if there. I've never read a lot of Superman.
Yeah, are there
I don't
any
know
like
if there's
evil
a.
Superman comics?
I know there's a Superman. Like the big one was like Red Sun, where he lands in the Soviet Union
Oh,
instead
yeah.
of America. And
That'd make anybody evil.
yeah, well, just living in that cold.
Just wipes everybody out, starts over.
Right, just living in that cold. That's just
Warming
too
his
much.
hands up on his laser eyes.
Yeah, I think probably the glass eyeball is probably my favorite scene.
Yeah, that was such a great scene. Oh, poor Erica.
Oh, you're talking about the Red Sun Superman?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
Nothing.
I just wonder if like
I mean, it would be really
I mean,
fascinating
there's
to just
the-
have like a whole arc
there's, like,
of
the-
evil superheroes.
There's
Yeah.
like the Bizarro
Yeah, right.
series. I don't know. I don't know much about the DC universe, so this is out of my.
well, I just don't know like a lot about like Superman. I saw
Especially
something.
evil Superman.
I saw something. We can cash out of this episode here in a minute because we've been having a lot of fun. I saw something the other day, and it was I don't know who wrote this. If it was like some comic creator we follow, or it's just like a meme or something. It was like, do you really think anybody would want him in the Justice League? Talking about Batman, they're like, he's just sitting there looking at you all angry, and you know he's just thinking of ways to plan your demise.
It's like in Lego Batman.
Right,
When
like
he
he's-
shows up to the party and he's like, wait, you guys are having the reunion? And they're like, what? No,
No.
you didn't get the invitation.
Like nobody
Totally
really
invited
wants.
you, dude.
Nobody wants to be friends with Bruce Wayne.
And then they make him take the picture.
Nobody wants Tom King writing Bruce Wayne, and no one wants Robert Pattinson to be Bruce Wayne.
Sup, soups?
Right. I think that's where it comes at, man. Like
Yeah.
Batman, largest selling comic.
Yeah.
He's not the best.
He's kind of a dick.
Right.
That's why people love him.
That's why like Nightwing had to roll out on his own. He's
Yeah.
like-
He's like, I just can't handle this prey.
right.
Yeah. That's going to be Caleb soon.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, I just can't handle you guys.
I just can't. Too many crispy boys.
Too many crispy. Can we say it like crispy BOI, like crispy boy?
Boy.
Hey, one of those crispy boys?
Cash out of this episode. Where are we sitting
for
at? We
sure.
coming in on time?
Yeah.
What are we at?
We're at 51.
Whoa.
I think you got like a sponsor spot, and then you can like cash out.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can do that.
Huge sponsor.
Red Roof?
Red Roof Inn. Be a budget hero, just like the Heroes by the Pint. Do not be a dummy.
Save that money.
Right. Anywhere on your con excursions, anywhere where you're traveling, hit up a Red Roof Inn. They have great accommodations, great prices that are going to fit any budget. And it is all about the destination you're going to. Do not be that dummy. Save your money. Spend it on a quality hotel. Make sure you're spending your money on your trip,
Yeah.
on those comics.
And we should probably shout out to the big event that we're going to be
Oh, yes.
rolling out at.
That's right. You right? Country Road.
Okay, now?
Almost Heaven. Come on, Mountain
Tricon,
Mama.
West Virginia.
That's right. Tricon, West Virginia. We are the featured podcast. We are going to have an incredible time.
We'll be at booth number 1.
That's right. We'll be
We are?
staying at the Red Roof Inn. We are at booth
Ooh.
number 1.
Dude, I thought they only give those to like important people.
We are the official podcast of Tricon.
We are the most
What more do
important
you want?
people.
They
I
love
still
us.
don't think we're that important.
Well,
We're booth number 1 important, bro. So get ready because you're going to be right
like
at
I
that
thought we'd be
entrance.
like 88 or something.
Right.
No, it's like us, Image or is it Boom Comics or Image Comics? That's next, like the next booth over.
probably Boom. Caleb thought
They
we'd
have a
be.
huge
Caleb
booth.
thought we'd be set up in the bathroom, and he'd have to be like offering people cologne and like drying their hands for him.
Yeah, he's
Little
like
swig of mouthwash.
mint. Mint.
God, that's like Caleb's hell.
Yeah, Tricon.
Tricon.
We can't wait.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's gonna
My
be
hometown.
fun. It's she's gonna have
It's not really, but I did go to college there.
she's gonna have the pants rolled up. She's gonna be like,
She-
before we
Oh
get
no,
to the
I'm
con.
gonna wear my shirt, my T-shirt that used to have sleeves where I cut it off.
She's like, before we get to the con, got a great cricking spot.
Actually, if you guys want to go,
She will only be wearing Marshall gear.
yeah, I'll
Cut
definitely
off
wear my
jeans.
Marshall hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And boots up to here.
Oh yeah.
Tricon.
Timberlands.
We can't wait. We're going to be flooding our social media this coming week with all Tricon announcements.
All Tricon all day.
Yeah, we are so excited. Make sure you're also checking out all of our people, Source Point Press, Vault Comics, and the original Tubby. Sponsor this show, Shoes for Crews, all the love we get.
Are we forgetting anyone?
I don't know. We forget everything.
So many sponsors. North High Brewing Company.
North I the problem is like
We're just
people
super
expect too much.
popular.
Like, no, we're drunks.
I know, and we tried to tell them that.
It's like we put on this good business face during happy hour.
Dude.
Ellis shines his head, walks
I
up
got,
in there.
I got my invite for my family reunion, and I responded right away like, "Great, I'll be there." And my uncle was like, "Oh dear God, warn everyone." And I was like, "Whoa, bro! Like, what are you trying to say?" Just because last time I smuggled vodka into the family reunion,
You
doesn't
gotta
mean it's gonna be any-
smuggle that in. You
They
can't
don't
just
let
like.
us drink. None of them drink.
Your family sucks.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not.
My cousins and I always end up trash, and they're like, "How did it happen?" And then I'm like, "It was me."
Like, I think that watermelon must have been bad or something. I don't know.
Soak all the
For a
fruit I
minute.
bring in vodka, and then I give it to the old people.
Oh,
It's
man.
a real good time.
Head over to heroesbythepint.com. Over there, you can click over to anywhere you stream your podcast services. Find us on all of our social media links. Hit that shop store and hit
What?
You say that every time.
hit that shop store.
It's kind of redundant.
Donut Kitchen Diner.
You could just like hit the shop or hit the store.
Like, yeah.
Shop store sounds better.
Okay, fine. Hit the shop store
I feel like
on
other
our
people say
website,
that.
e-commerce.
Yeah.
E-commerce. And you can support this podcast for as little as $1 a month. Check out our Patreon links.
We need peanut butter sandwiches.
That's
We're
right.
gonna go to New York.
This is the Heroes by the Pint podcast. We are the Glassy Eye Geeks, and we are out.